Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the third chapter in our syllabus, Give and Take. In Give and Take, today we are going to discuss about subtraction without borrowing, subtraction with borrowing, concept of minuend and subtrahend. What do you mean by minuend? The first number in subtraction. That means when we subtract the smaller number from the greater number. Always remember, when we subtract, we can only subtract the smaller number from the greater number. So the greater number in the subtraction, that is the first number, is known as minuend. The smaller number in the subtraction, which is being subtracted, it is known as the subtrahend. The number to be subtracted from another number, that number which we are subtracting is known as subtrahend, and the answer of subtraction is known as difference. Difference is the result of a subtraction problem. Now, as I told you, minuend is the greater number from which we are subtracting. Subtrahend is the number which we are subtracting from the minuend, and difference is our answer. Now, when you 5 minus 1 is 4, right? So 5 is your minuend, 1 is your subtrahend, 4 is your difference. Now when you add the subtrahend, that is 1, and the difference, that is 4, you get 5, that is the minuend. This is what it is written: difference plus subtrahend equal to minuend. Okay, now here it is, you have to find the difference. Now difference also means subtraction. If you get a sum where it is asked find the difference between the two numbers, difference means that you have to subtract the numbers. Now look here, first sum is 567. From 567 you have to subtract 32. From 567 you have to subtract 32. Now when we now 567 is the greater number, that is from this number we are subtracting 32. So 567 is the first number in the subtraction. It is known as the minuend, which is denoted as M. 32 is the subtrahend, which is the smaller number, is denoted as S. And when we subtract, that is 7 minus 2 is 5. 6 minus 3 is 3, and below 5 there is nothing, so 5 will come down. So 567 minus 32, your answer is 535. So 535 is the difference, that is your result of the subtraction. Similarly, in the second sum, from 986 you have to subtract 632. So when you subtract 2 from 6, you get 4. When you subtract 3 from 8, you get 5. When you subtract 6 from 9, you get 3. So your answer is, that is your difference is 354. Your minuend is 986. Your subtrahend is 632. Again, minuend is the greater number in the subtraction. Subtrahend is the smaller number in the subtraction, and difference is your answer. Okay, now subtraction by borrowing method. Borrowing means, what does borrowing means? When we do not, suppose when you go to school, suppose you have forgotten to take a pencil, what you do? You ask a pencil from your friend, that is your friend lends you a pencil, gives you a pencil to write. Now lending a pencil or giving you a pencil to write, it is called borrowing. So now in subtraction, when the number in the digit in the minuend is smaller than the digit in the subtrahend, in that case what we do? We borrow from the previous number of the minuend. Look here, it is said subtraction by borrowing, arrange in columns and add. Arrange in columns means first make place value chart, ones, tens and hundreds, like that, and then put the numbers there. So here is 450 minus 178. So write 450 first, since it is the greater number in the subtraction. It is your minuend, then 178. Now 0 is smaller than 8. You cannot subtract 8 from 0. In that case, what we will do? We will borrow a number, borrow 1 from 5. So when we borrow 1 from 5, 5 becomes 1 less. So when we deduct 1 from 5 or minus 1 from 5, 5 will become 4. That is why we have striked out 5 and written 4 at the top. Then when we are borrowing 1 from 5 and placing it over 0, how much it is becoming? 1 and 0 is 10. So 8, when we are subtracting from 10, how much we are getting? 2. Now from 4 again we cannot subtract 7 because 4 is smaller and 7 is greater. Again we will borrow 1 from the previous number, that is 4. So from 4, if we borrow 1, 4 will become 1 less, that is 4 will become 3. Now since we have borrowed 1 from 4, now in the tens place it will become 14. 14 minus 7 is 7, then 3 minus 1 is. Now look for the second one. Here it is given 728 minus 51. Now 728 is the greater number, so it is your minuend. 51 is a smaller number, it is your subtrahend. So now subtract 8 minus 1, 7, 2 minus 5. You cannot subtract 5 from 2 because 2 is smaller. So we will borrow 1. So 12 minus 5, 7, and 6 will come. Okay, so now here what you have to do, you have to arrange in column and check your answer. You have to subtract, you have to first arrange in column, you have to subtract, and then you have to check your answer. Now how will you check your answer? In the previous, at the very beginning of today's class, I told you that minuend minus subtrahend is your difference. What is your minuend? The greater number from which you are subtracting. What is your subtrahend? The smaller number which you are subtracting. Then difference. What is the difference? The result or answer of the minus or the subtraction problem is your difference. Now minuend minus subtrahend is your difference. So how can we get minuend from subtrahend and difference? When we add the difference and the subtrahend, we will get back the minuend. Look here. Now here the question given is you have to subtract 31 from 654. So 654 is greater than 31. So 654 is your minuend. 31 is your subtrahend. Now do the subtraction. 4 minus 1 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. Below 6 there is nothing, so 6 will come down. Now 623 is your answer. 623 is your difference. Now to check, what you have to do, you have to add the difference and the subtrahend. Look here at the right hand side. 623, which is the difference that you got. With that you are adding 31. What is 31? The subtrahend. So difference and the subtrahend, when you are getting back 654 as an answer, which is your minuend. Look here. When you are subtracting 31 from 654, you are getting 623 as an answer. Now when you are adding 623 and 31, you are getting 654 as your answer. So you are getting back your minuend. When you are adding the difference and the subtrahend, you are getting back the minuend. That is what we have to do. First you have to subtract subtrahend from minuend to get the difference. Then you will add the difference and the subtrahend and check whether your minuend you are getting is same or not. If it is same, you're correct. Your subtraction is okay, otherwise it's wrong. Okay, here are a few questions based on today's class. Go through them and see whether you can solve them or not. Some more questions from today's class. Solve them definitely and see whether you have understood the concepts or not properly. Thank you for watching this video. Go through it. If you didn't understand anything, let me know in the comment section. Solve the sums. Stay home. Stay safe. We will meet again with a new concept in a new class. Bye bye. Take care.